So much for a casual hangout. In front of Uncle Chi Xiong, the young master's protests sound like a mosquito's buzz. That intimidating glare just upgraded outfit training to a top priority mission. Uncle suddenly pulls out his phone, his expression dead serious. This isn't about outfits anymore. It's an impromptu interrogation, and the young master is the judge. What's on the screen? A seemingly ordinary meal photo. But two faces stand out to Ji Xiong, the key players from the internet cafe incident. Beneath the calm surface, dangerous currents are stirring. Ji Xiong's pupils dilate in shock. He instantly zeroes in on the tattooed arm guy in the picture. Uncle Chi Xiong is stunned too, blurting out the name. Yin Kanyu. Is it the legendary Taishan of Wuzhen? The truth is even scarier. Uncle Chi Xiong suddenly recalls. The Scarface thug who approached him was the one who attacked the young master. The puzzle pieces click into place. This wasn't random thuggery. This was a premeditated ambush from the shadows. Ji Xiong's mind is racing. If that Scarface man is Yin Kanyu, and if he's linked to Jin Minyu from our gang, that means the attack wasn't from an outside enemy. It was an assassination attempt from within the Brown Bear gang. The traitor is an insider. Uncle Chi Xiong's mental gears are grinding to a halt. Can't find the culprit, and the gang's reactions are strange. His head is splitting. He realizes this is spiraling beyond control. To protect the young master, he decides to shoulder it all himself and keep him in the dark for now. 1 second discussing murderous traitors. The next, Uncle claps his hands and switches gears. Let's work on your date outfit. He grins slyly. Shin Kyungcheol, the school thug? Looks like he's about to become the first guinea pig for the young master's intimidation training. What's the key to great style? Uncle asks with a soul-shaking intensity. Ji Xiong is blank. Uncle's answer? Awe-inspiring intimidation. Ji Xiong internally shouts, "Wait, you need to go full battle mode for a date too." The next day, street corner. Young Yun and Junmin wait anxiously. Young Yun dressed to impress today, feeling confident. But where is Ji Xiong? Don't bail on us, man. Our street cred is riding on you. Here he comes. Accompanied by clanking metal and gasps from the crowd, an ominous gangster aura rolls down the street. Young Yun and Jun Min's expressions of anticipation instantly shatter. That dramatic figure, is that Ji Xiong? When Kong, the real deal Ji Xiong, decked out in snake print red, slicked hair and gold chains, stand with arms crossed and a domineering glare. His inner monologue is, as the heir to Brown Bear Gang, I will not be shamed. His friend's inner thoughts, SOS. This is the shame. Young Yun drags Ji Xiong into an alley, practically screaming, "Dude, we're meeting model students, not collecting protection money. Is this a date or a declaration of war?" Young Yun breaks down explaining. Dressed like this and the sweet, innocent girl Chayun, who I finally got to agree to come, will think we're all gangsters. Ji Xiong's bravado instantly evaporates. He looks lost. I didn't think of that. Complete meltdown. Young Yun loses it right there on the street, ready to strip and change clothes on the spot. He roars. I didn't need to put in this much effort. I just wanted to see Chayun. Jumin desperately tries to calm him down. The scene is pure chaos. The trio walks toward a clothing store. Young Yun is heartbroken. Should have just invited Sanggu. Ji Xiong is sheepish. Right? Too flashy? I felt uneasy anyway. Jumin thinks to himself, these two are hopeless. This date is doomed. Makeover in progress. Ji Xiong changes into a simple gray tee. Young Yun also buys new clothes, feeling like $1,000,000. He asks, looking better now, right? And then, Jumin hits the nail on the head. The necklace and ring are still too menacing. Put them away. Watching his friend hand him a bag, Ji Xiong feels a surge of gratitude. A real friend pulls you back from the edge, not pushes you over it just to look cool. The trio is assembled, alias plan activated. Ji Xiong is no longer the Brown Bear heir. He's now Kong Donggu, second year at Jiren High. Young Yun warns, remember Donggu, don't slip up. The girls are here. Moment of truth. Young Yun takes a deep breath, then waves enthusiastically. Chayun, everyone, over here. The prelude to the blind date. Group hangout officially begins. The vibe is a bit off. Young Yun is eager as a puppy, but the girls' reactions, especially Chayun's, are polite yet distant. Finally, it's time for classmate Kong Donggu to make his entrance. Ji Xiong, no, Donggu, takes the initiative. I'm Kong Donggu. Nice to meet you all. He extends his hand. This single gesture makes the detached model student, Chayun, freeze. Her pupils dilate. What did she see? In Chayun's eyes, what's offered isn't a hand. It's a calloused, powerful bear paw that looks capable of crushing anything. Among a flock of gentle herbivores, this seemingly mild-mannered boy's true nature is that of an apex predator. Suppressing her shock, Chaiyun shakes his hand with a smile. Hello, I'm Moon Chaiyun. But inside, a storm is raging. Found him, finally found. A man worthy of me. A brand new game of cat and mouse has just begun. From this fateful handshake, their paths diverge onto a new board. One is a hidden predator, and the other doesn't seem to be a simple prey either. Salt. Moon Chaiyun, the model student always cold and dismissive about dating, takes the initiative. Shall we go grab coffee? Young Yun is floored, alarm bells blaring in his head. What happened to her? Chaiyun walks closely beside Donggu the whole way. When Young Yun bitterly asks if she likes coffee, she only replies, indifferently, not really. This contrast, this attitude of treating Young Yun as pure air, his heart begins to sink. Young Yun is trembling, his inner voice roaring. Damn it, what the hell? How did it come to this? Watching their harmonious backs, he feels like the only clown excluded from the party. The plan? Utterly ruined. Salt in the wound. The whole group is now partying at a noribang. Chaiyun is even dancing the latest girl group choreography with a dazzling smile. Young Yun, forced to sit smiling in the corner, is bleeding out internally. Staring at the dancing Chaiyun, jealousy gnaws at Young Yun like a viper. Didn't you say you hated going out? Why do you know the new dance moves? Moon Chaiyun, why do you only look at Ji Xiong? Buddy, this isn't a date. This is a trial by fire. 10 years of pretending to be a good guy shattered instantly. As Kong Jiwung returned to his family stronghold, standing before his assembled men, the boy who only knew how to be gentle for Su Jin made the most resolute vow of all. This time, he'll show her what a real bad man looks like. This is where the transformation truly begins. Su Jin's confession call obliterated the last shred of Ji Woong's excuse to remain good. Like a drowning man clutching at a lifeline, he laid it bare to his most ruthless uncle, Yang Jawook. He wanted to be bad. The only question, the reason you had to be good, it's gone, right? The answer was yes. And when the name Shin Jiangqiol came up, everyone knew the training was officially on. Step 1 of the family's remodeling plan. Utterly destroy Kong Ji-woong's good guy face. Off with the neat haircut. On with the clearly not to be messed with outfit. A new rule. No more harmless smiles. Act only when there's something to gain. But staring at the walls plastered with service awards, the boy trying to turn bad felt the first wave of intense self-doubt. Can I really become a different person? Under guy-saying uncles, let's call it unique fashion sense, Kong Ji-woong strode on a campus. Hair wild, gold chains blinging, clad in wild streetwear. The whole school lost it. Is this the same meek Ji-woong? And when Su Jin approached him with a greeting, bound by the never greet first rule, he could only stutter out a few syllables. The awkwardness was off the charts. The new look didn't just spook his classmates. Even his teacher barred him from class. Ji-woong sat alone in the corner, an island unto himself. Su Jin approached, asking if he was sick, still trying to pull him to the storehouse like before. A decade-old habit nearly made him stand, but he fought it. Instead, he turned the knife. You're the one who changed first, Su Jin. His final words felt like a bloodied farewell. A single word from you changed my life 10 years ago. Now my life is changing again because of you. He walked away without looking back. The gentle past was now locked behind him. Can't be a good student? Fine, be a truant. Ji-woong decided to put Bad Behavior 101 into practice. Skip class. Spotting 2 students ditch with a flimsy eating ramen excuse, he thought, might as well get some villain experience, and followed them like a shadow. He followed them to a street, but found no ramen. Instead, it was school bully Shin Jiangqiol harassing a girl. Ji-woong watched Jiangqiol try to drag her home and immediately turned hostile when she resisted. Rage blinded him. He thought he was witnessing another Su Jin situation. In a panic, he grabbed a stone from the ground. Aiming for a lesson, whack! The stone perfectly connected with the forehead of the innocent girl standing nearby. A chaotic misunderstanding was born. Fast forward to post-basic training. Shin Jiangqiol's lackeys, Jang Songjae and Eom Daesong, picked the wrong time to cross paths. The awakened Kong Ji-woong made his point with overwhelming, effortless force. Their beatdown was so clean and brutal, Lee Seo-jin, who witnessed it, could only stare in bone-deep shock. So this is what he's like when serious? Ji-woong simply confirmed they were Jiangqiol's men and tossed out the line. I'll take down all the punks. Except you, leaving her mind reeling. Meanwhile, the thoroughly humiliated Shin Jiangqiol reluctantly accepted Su Jin's concern. The moment she left, he heard the awful truth from his bruised-up crew. Kang Ji-woong took them all down. Utter humiliation. This was the final straw. Jiang Cheol snapped, his eyes locked on his phone's contact for Hyung Du-bak. A vicious plan bloomed in his mind. If he can't do it alone, he'll bring in the whole gang alliance. Just you wait, Kang Ji-woong. In Jiang Cheol's den, filled with smoke, the revenge plot was sealed with curses. Meanwhile, at school, Lee Seo-jin fumbled her way into showing concern for Ji-woong, even buying the wrong drink. But then came an intel dump. She laid bare the school's true power map. The Nojijul-seng alliance, ruled by her brother Lee Du-bak, and a monstrously powerful figure all thugs fear, Song Young-hyuk. Ji-woong's list of enemies just became crystal clear. Ji-woong didn't hesitate. He flat out told Seo-jin his ambition, to become the worst man who surpasses all thugs and crushes every one of them under his heel. Simultaneously, in the gym shadows, Alliance leader Lee Du-bak was in a clandestine meeting with the student council president. Tapping the desk, he smiled, labeling Kang Ji-woong a typhoon. A storm was brewing, ready to hit the school from both the light and the dark. Jiang Cheol, nursing his face, found Lee Du-bak on the roof. To borrow the Alliance's blade, he shamelessly lied, blaming his beating on dozens of gangsters hired by Ji-woong. He pleaded for Du-bak to handle the gang threat, while he'd take care of Song Young-hyuk. Du-bak agreed readily, his eyes brimming with mockery. A devious plan for an ambush at the gym was set. Jiang Cheol left, smug about his smart deal, completely unaware he was the most laughable pawn on Du-bak's board. Moments later, Du-bak gathered his Alliance lieutenants. Tomorrow noon, the gym. We're dealing with Song Young-hyuk. A trap for the strongest was now set. After the initial chaos subsided, and with Song Young-hyuk's young sister, Dune, safely sent home, Ji-woong and Young-hyuk reached a true agreement. Shin Jiang Cheol was just an appetizer. The real main course was the Nojijul-seng alliance. Refusing to wait around, they decided to strike first together. The school's top solo combatant, the monster Song Young-hyuk, officially teamed up with the typhoon Kang Ji-woong. The counterstorm was about to be unleashed on their terms. However, a late-night family meeting dropped a bombshell. Uncle Yang Jawook somberly informed Ji-woong that the thug who attacked him, his facial scar and his address of young master, pointed to a terrifying possibility. The assailant likely came from inside the Brown Bear gang itself. This suspicion sent shockwaves through the room. A traitor inside the family? The first life-or-death crisis Ji-woong faces upon his return might be lurking among those he trusts the most. To counter the external alliance, the meeting pivoted to internal revelations. Uncle Gai-sang unveiled a buried past. Turns out, the Nojijul-seng alliance's predecessor was the Legend Squad, a team he founded to fight rival forces. Lee Du-bak absorbed and reorganized it into what it is today. Gai-sang looked at Ji-woong with a complex expression. I will have you destroy this memory of mine with your own hands. That exact moment, a call came in. The caller ID flashed, Lee Du-bak. The internal and external enemies were showing their cards simultaneously. Lee Seo-jin, at home, was a mess of nerves over Ji-woong's upcoming visit. Her ambitious brother, Du-bak, barged in, holding the alliance's full intel as leverage, forcing her into a ridiculous scheme codenamed Operation Mrs. Brown. To get close to Ji-woong, so Du-bak can climb the ranks through a marital alliance. A girl's tangled feelings on one side, her brother's blatant political maneuvering on the other. Seo-jin was completely dumbfounded. Elsewhere, at Changyok High, model student Moon Chae-yoon did a complete 180. Shedding her quiet image, she became aggressively proactive. She warmly invited Ji-woong, using his alias Kong Dong-gu, to a cafe and directly asked for his number. All of this was painfully witnessed by his best friend, Jong-yoon, from the corner. Watching the girl he secretly loved shower attention on Ji-woong, Jong-yoon's heart felt shred to pieces in real time. Jealousy, agony, disillusionment. He fell apart right there. He even refused his friend's gaming invite because his entire world just crumbled before his eyes. Meanwhile, Ji-woong and Song Young-hyuk received a mysterious text inviting them to a party at Binson apartment room 201. The air reeked of danger, but they decided to go, with Young-hyuk bringing a bat for defense. They climbed the stairs, on high alert, their hearts pounding. Finally, standing before room 201, they exchanged a tense glance, took a deep breath, and rang the bell. The door opened. Standing there was Moon Chae-yoon, the girl who should be at her tutoring session. Instantly, the expressions of Ji-woong outside and Chae-yoon inside morphed into pure, unadulterated shock. What is the model student who's supposed to be at a cafe doing at this sketchy apartment party? This unexpected reunion blew the suspense into the stratosphere. Inside, the mystery unraveled. This was Chang Yokai-'s secret delinquent hideout. The host, Park Myung-jun, and his crew stepped forward to welcome them. He threw this party to celebrate Kong Ji-woong becoming the top dog at Jiran High. When Myung-jun boomed, "This is Kong Ji-woong," Cha-yoon's worldview shattered with a crash. The Kong Dong-gu she approached wasn't a random guy. He was the rising, rumored gang-linked school boss, Kong Ji-woong. Her eyes sharpened instantly, flickering with complex realization. In the smoke-filled hideout, Park Myung-jun dropped the playful act. He laid his cards on the table. He knew Ji-woong's goal was to take down the Noji-Jul-sang alliance, and his Changyok alliance was also sick of being under its thumb. He proposed a formal alliance for Ji-woong, Young-hyuk, and his crew to unite, starting with the alliance's weakest link, Ma Jin-hai, and tear the giant down together. Ji-woong and Young-hyuk shared a loaded glance and headed to the roof. This sudden offer, is it a golden opportunity or a deadly trap? The rooftop breeze cleared their heads. After a short discussion, they made a call. Accept the alliance. Back inside, Ji-woong formally extended his hand to Park Myung-jun. One handshake, and an alliance powerful enough to shake the very foundations of the school's underworld was forged. As Young-hyuk made his exit, the now unmasked model student, Moon Chae-yoon, called out to stop the departing Ji-woong. Another gear of fate clicked loudly into place. The first gathering in the secret den was awkwardly charged. Changyok's light, the blonde witch Moon Chae-yoon, pressed Ji-woong without mercy about his false identity. Cornered, he admitted, "I was afraid you'd fear the real Kong Ji-woong." But instead of backing off, she stepped closer, closing the distance. "What if I'm not afraid? Don't you like it?" Ambiguous sparks flew in the heart of a delinquent hideout. This entire scene, witnessed by his friend Jongmin from afar, shattered his already broken heart all over again. Beneath the party's light surface, undercurrents ran deep. Park Myung-jun finally dropped the bombshell proposal. He wanted Changyok and Jiran to formally unite against the Noji-Jul-sang. The air shifted instantly. Ji-woong and Young-hyuk exchanged a knowing look and excused themselves to get some air on the roof for a private talk. Left inside, Myung-jun and Choi Jin-moo stared at each other, the atmosphere suddenly thick with awkward suspense. On the roof, the night air was cool. They faced a decision both tempting and treacherous. An alliance meant power, a real chance against the Noji-Jul-sang behemoth. But it also meant being chained to the Changyok alliance's battle wagon, with an unpredictable future. After a brief, intense weighing of risks and rewards, they reached a consensus. The risk was worth it. Back inside, the atmosphere was transformed. Ji-woong didn't waste words. He extended his hand to the waiting Park Myung-jun. Deal. One word, heavy with intent. One handshake, and the Challenger Alliance was officially born. Song Young-hyuk took his cue and left first. But as Ji-woong turned to go, Moon Chae-yoon, leaning against the wall, walked over. Looking him straight in the eye, she said, "Wait, there's something I want to ask you, alone." From this smoke-filled den, new storms and new entanglements were about to spread. A few non-alcoholic beers later, the atmosphere shifted from tense vigilance to a more relaxed buzz. Some dozed off, tipsy, while others remained wary. Just as Ji-woong privately mused about drinking with classmates like this, Park Myung-jun, the master of ceremonies, finally took center stage. All traces of playfulness vanished. He placed his hands firmly on the floor, muscles taut, his gaze sharp as a blade. Now that everyone's in a good mood, he paused, the tension in the room spiking. "Let's get down to business." The illusion of a carefree party was officially shattered. Everyone snapped to attention, knowing full well the moment that decides their future course had arrived. Park Myung-jun cut straight to the chase, recalling Ji-woong's bold declaration in the auditorium to crush the Noji-Jul-sang alliance. "This party," he said, his eyes sweeping the room, voice trembling with intensity, "is for this reason. For us." He clenched his fist, growling. "Join forces with us, Changyok, Kong Ji-woong. Let's tear that damn alliance to pieces, together." His words ignited the room like a gunpowder keg, setting ablaze a potent mix of rush, passion, and yushin, ambition. It was a battle cry that left no room for refusal, and a heavy certificate of allegiance. Faced with this sudden, explosive proposal, Ji-woong's first reaction was shock and instinctive wariness. He instinctively looked to Song Young-hyuk, who clearly felt the same pressure. With a single shared glance, the partners knew they needed to talk privately. "It's getting stuffy in here," Young-hyuk said smoothly, patting Ji-woong's shoulder. "Let's get some air and come back." Just like that, They stood up and left the room under everyone's bewildered stares. The moment the door clicked shut, the easygoing facade on Park Mong-jun's face evaporated, replaced by a flush of anger at being ignored and a flicker of unease. He turned to his remaining crew, hissing through gritted teeth, "Hey, did I screw up? Say something wrong." The room's atmosphere plummeted from boiling passion to freezing point in an instant. Chaos erupts as Ji-woong botches his very first strike as a wannabe bad guy. His attempt to ambush Shin Kyung-chul with a rock spectacularly backfires, hitting Lee Yu-ji square in the forehead instead. Panic sets in. In a desperate follow-up, he lands a hit on Shin Kyung-chul this time. With no time to process, he grabs a bewildered Yu-ji and flees the scene, his heart hammering with pure, unadulterated regret. At the park bench, a panicked Ji-woong patches up Yu-ji's wound and confesses his name. To his shock, Yu-ji recognizes him, not as a threat, but as the annoying guy everyone talks about. Her verdict? "You seem like a decent person." So much for his bad boy debut. Shin Kyung-chul calls flood in, and Ji-woong is terrified of being exposed. But Yu-ji shocks him again by answering and unleashing a fiery tirade on Kyung-chul, shielding Ji-woong completely. His target just became an enemy, and his victim just became an unexpected, fiery ally. Meanwhile, the humiliated Kyung-chul vows revenge, hunting for the phantom attacker. Back at school, Ji-woong dramatically declares his bad man mission to his friends, naming Shin Kyung-chul as his primary target. Cue instant karma. Yu-ji herself sits down at his table. Petri-fed, he executes a hasty retreat. The walls of his ordinary life are crumbling faster than he can handle. Disaster strikes. The soul ring, the ultimate symbol of his family's legacy, is missing from Ji-woong's finger. Panic consumes him, but as he rushes back to the classroom to search, he walks right into an ambush by Shin Kyung-chul. A brutal, one-sided beating ensues. Humiliated and broken, he has no idea that Lee Yu-ji is witnessing the entire scene. Time skip to a deranged Shin Kyung-chul. Lying through his teeth, he begs Lee Du-bok, the school's actual kingpin, for help. He spins a tale of being mobbed by Ji-woong's dozens of gangster uncles. His plan? Lure Ji-woong's top enforcer, Song Young-suk, into a trap at the gym. The game is getting dangerous. Amidst the chaos, a heartwarming scene unfolds. Ji-woong's childhood friend, Jong-yoon, confronts him about his decade-long lie. After the anger and hurt, comes forgiveness and understanding. They reconcile. That simple act of walking home with friends again feels like a fragile lifeline to a world that's rapidly disappearing. But fate isn't done with him. At his doorstep, an order from his father: drop out of school, begin your underworld training. Ji-woong is forced to say goodbye to his normal life and his friends. Unseen by them, Shin Kyung-chul's lackeys are already watching, marking the now unguarded Song Young-suk as their first victim, leading him straight into a trap the next day. Flash forward after the life-or-death battles. The game has changed. Ji-woong starts building his power. At the school gate, he casually crushes the hand of a challenger named Lee Won-hyuk, asserting his dominance. His new target? The current boss of the Moji Jinjiang Union. He heads straight to Changyuk High for a face-off. The tension escalates on the roof of Changyuk High. Park Myung-jun, the deceptively calm rival, doesn't want to fight. He proposes an alliance against the Moji Jinjiang Union. Ji-woong is caught in a whirlwind of calculation. Is this unexpected offer a golden opportunity, or the most dangerous trap yet? Meanwhile, at home, Lee Yu-ji has different problems. Flustered about Ji-woong's upcoming visit, she's ambushed by her scheming brother, Du-bok. He unveils his brown wife operation, a blatant power play to force a marriage alliance between their families by using Yu-ji as bait. This is politics, not romance. But the real danger lurks within. Inside the Brown Bear gang, a failed assassin is brutally punished. A high-ranking member, C1, destroys evidence and coldly threatens fellow enforcer Yang Jae-wook over the phone. While Ji-woong fights schoolyard battles, a deadly internal power struggle is brewing. The alliance with Park Myung-jun reaches its climax. Back inside, surrounded by watchful eyes, they officially shake hands. The alliance between Jilin and Changyuk is forged. Their first target? The weakest link, Majian High School. The opening bell for a citywide turf war has just rung. But plot twists are part of the deal. As the meeting disperses, a quiet voice calls Ji-woong back. It's Park Myung-jun's companion, Moon Chae-yoon. With an unreadable look in her eyes, she pulls him aside, away from the crowd. In a quiet hallway, the atmosphere shifts. Chae-yoon steps closer, asking Ji-woong to keep her perfect student image a secret. She whispers that next time, she wants to meet the real Kong Ji-woong, not his alter ego. Then, before he can process, she leans in and presses a soft kiss to his cheek. Ji-woong's system completely overloads. Electricity jolts from his cheek to his toes. His first kiss ever. Utterly flustered, his face burning crimson, he stumbles and flees, sprinting down the wrong staircase in a panic. His mind is a screaming, blissful void. She kissed me. She kissed me. He runs all the way, meeting a waiting Young-suk on the street. But the flush on his face and the faint whiff of party smells are dead giveaways. Young-suk takes one look at his dazed state and immediately knows something major just happened. But the real test awaits at home. Sneaking in quietly, he's instantly ambushed by his personal fan club, the overzealous, bald-headed uncles of the Brown Bear Gang. They greet him with a thunderous, off-key rap that would scare off demons. Suddenly, the uncles' noses twitch violently. An unfamiliar scent clings to him. Alcohol and smoke. Smells there pure, Salyut has never carried before. They erupt in a frenzy of overjoyed weeping and shouting. Salyut, have you finally started drinking? You become a real bad guy. Ji-woong tries to deflect with a flimsy, just non-alcoholic drinks excuse. But the biggest uncle, Kyung-seng, corners him. His eyes narrow to slits. Salyut, there's smoke on you, but not on your breath. Care to explain? The deadly question lands. Under the immense pressure, Ji-woong crumbles. He blurts out, as someone was smoking, the smell just got on me. I didn't smoke it myself. His confession has the opposite effect, plunging the uncles into a new level of despair. So, Salyut, you inhaled secondhand smoke. Boom. The revelation detonates. The celebration instantly morphs into an epic tragedy. The uncles break down in theatrical sobs. Salyut's lungs will turn black. His teeth will yellow. This is worse than him smoking directly. The party has officially become awake for his contaminated body. Finally alone in his extravagant, unfamiliar room, Ji-woong collapses onto the bed. His mind replays Chae-yoon's kiss and the uncle's tearful drama on a loop. His phone buzzes. A notification lights up, a message from Moon Chae-yoon. He stares at the screen, his face flushing hot again, fingers frozen over the keyboard. Before he can even think of a reply, another call blasts through, this one from Lee Yu-ji. The voice on the other end is pure, unadulterated fury. Hey, why aren't you replying to my messages? Ji-woong is yanked from romantic daydreams back into the cold, harsh territory of his fierce and demanding friend, ally, complication. Yu-ji gets straight to business, demanding to know if he's ready to strategize against Park Myung-jun. Sweat drips down Ji-woong's temple as he stammers out the truth. Actually, we don't need a plan against Park Myung-jun anymore, because they've formed an alliance. Dead silence echoes from the other end of the line. Hesitantly, he adds another critical piece of information. Also, at the party from Changeuk side, there was Moon Chae-yoon. The moment that name leaves his lips, the atmosphere on the call freezes solid. Back in her room, Lee Yu-ji's expression shifts. A silent storm of suspicion, jealousy, and sheer competitive fury begins to gather on the horizon. A single name sparks a silent war. When Jung-ho casually mentions Moon Chae-yoon on the phone, Ryo-ji's world freezes. That crazy woman, Moon Chae-yoon. The phrase echoes in her mind, jealousy coiling around her heart like a venomous vine. That previous threat, he's mine now, touch him and you're dead, wasn't an empty promise. This woman is making her move again. A calm surface betrays a raging storm. Ryo-ji forces a flat tone as she discusses the alliance and intel exchange with Jung-ho. Not much info on Mason High yet. I'll start digging. The moment the call ends, the pretense shatters. As if allying with Changyuk High wasn't bad enough. Why does that woman have to be here too? The headache feels like her skull is splitting. Meanwhile, the oblivious source of all this turmoil lies on his bed. Yoko vaguely feels really sound off. Did I do something wrong? He wonders. Is she upset because she wasn't invited to the celebration party? His solution? Next time we have a party, I gotta remember to invite Ryo-ji. The heir's emotional radar is as underdeveloped as his combat instincts are sharp. Beyond the romantic chaos, a tangible threat is brewing. Uncle Gaishik lies awake in the gym of the family hideout. The person threatening the young master hasn't shown their face yet. This eerie calm is the most dangerous sign of all. He can feel it in his bones. The enemy is out there, waiting for the perfect moment of vulnerability to strike. His guardian instincts are screaming on high alert. Where's the weak spot? Gaishik's gaze sharpens, piercing through memories. The two girls who escaped last time. He recalls the single pink slipper left behind at the chase scene. Start with them, pressure them, and they might cough up the identity of the thug who attacked the young master. We start moving tomorrow. Gun-ho volunteers instantly. A new hunt is on. Meanwhile, the first name on the hunt comes from behind iron bars. In the depths of the prison, inmate number 0758, Sin Jiang-chul, aka Jukami/Takayaki, is stewing in boredom. A sudden announcement. You have a visitor. He scoffs. His parents? His lackeys? Now they come? But the scoff dies in his throat the second the door opens. That terrifying, bald-headed bastard, the one who triggers a primal fear in him, just walked right in. Separated by bulletproof glass, Jukami tries to rally his bravado. He laughs maniacally, taunting, "You can't touch me now. I'm under the protection of Korean law." The glass is a shield. But Gaishik just stares at him, a calm, chilling smile on his face. Your hair. It's gotten longer, hasn't it? All the blood drains from the inmate's face. The bald man hasn't forgotten his promise to shave his head. Words aren't enough. Fine, bring out the hardware. Gaishik whips out a buzzing electric razor. Didn't I tell you? If you dare touch the young master, I'll chase you to hell just to shave your head. Jacomi's defenses crumble, but the final blow comes from the deadpan statement that chills him to the core. You're not stupid enough to think there are 0 brown bear gang members in this prison, are you? Laws? Rules? In the underworld, a different set operates. True fear extracts truth. When Gaishik presses his phone against the glass, a photo of an unknown thug filling the screen, Jacomi breaks. His name is Park Woo-jang. He confesses. Gaishik's eyes widen. Asterisk Park Woo-jang, not Chan-woo. Asterisk the implications hit him like a freight train. The attacker wasn't from the suspected traitor Sherwon's faction? No internal strife? Then why was that imposter Chan-woo using their gang's name? The truth just got infinitely more tangled. Back in the car, Gaishik lights a cigarette. The prison visit yielded explosive intel. There's no internal strife in the organization. The priority now is finding Chan-woo. Meanwhile, the hunt for the real culprit, Park Woo-jang, is handed to his subordinate Taegon. As for himself, he sets his sights on a far more dangerous realm. Then I'll start my investigation into the recent, highly suspicious underground arena run by the Tanryong gang. The eye of the storm is shifting from the schoolyard to the true underworld. Back at base, how to find the 2 runaway girls. Gaishik and Gunho are stumped. The only clue is a single pink slipper, and their lead's phone offers nothing. At a dead end, Gunho's eyes wander to a TV showing an animal documentary. A light bulb goes off. Bears have incredibly sensitive senses of smell. He whirls to face Gaishik, eyes wide with a brilliant or insane idea. Boss, our brown bear gang doesn't have an actual brown bear, right? They have a pet bear cub named Ielong. The plan is sound. Its execution depends entirely on the mood of the bear. Gaishik approaches Ielong with a massive slab of premium salmon, Gunho cheering him on. Tada, here's your favorite salmon, Ielong. Faced with the gourmet treat, the bear cub's eyes sparkle, drool practically dripping. If we let Ielong smell the slipper, she'll find girls. Sounds perfect, but Gaishik has a moment of existential doubt. An elite gangster enforcer is now bargaining with a bear using a slipper. Has his life taken a surreal turn? Reward the bear, and the bear will work. A very full and satisfied Ielong sniffs at the pink slipper, and then something shifts. Its eyes change from dopey in content to sharp, focused. Gaishik and Gunho exchange a look. It worked. Juno. Ielong's eyes changed. She knows something. In a flurry of activity, they outfit the cub with a proper muzzle and leash. It's time for the urban spectacle of bear on the hunt. Jungho's quest for revenge now boasts a supporting cast that is uniquely comprehensive. Watching the eager sniffing of Ilbong, Kichang feels a surge of hope. This isn't just walking a pet. It's the young master's first official reconnaissance mission for the brown bear family. This little guy isn't just sniffing around. He made a gesture. Kichang, a grown man, is instantly moved to tears. Young Master Ilbong, you truly are a genius. Madness. Ilbong leads Kichang on a full sprint down the street. Slow down is a concept that doesn't apply to a genius bear. Kichang chases after him, his face alight with pure, unadulterated pride. In his eyes, the young master can do no wrong. Meanwhile, just as Jaiwong basks in the glow of his successful revenge, a storm is brewing elsewhere. The Takayaki he destroyed, Shin Jiang-chul, is receiving an unexpected and ominous greeting from an unknown faction within the prison walls. Steam fills the prison shower room. Shin Jiang-chul is lost in a pitiful moment of self-pity. Suddenly, shadows converge. Several heavily tattooed, hulking figures surround him, the atmosphere instantly turning cold and dangerous. Shin Jiang-chul, The leader confirms his identity with a glance. Then comes an even stranger demand. Scrub my back. It's not a favor. It's a blatant power play, a declaration that Jiang Chul is utterly at their mercy. Cut back to the street. Our genius bear suddenly halts, standing in front of an elderly woman pushing a cart. Kichang's heart skips a beat. Could it be? Did he actually find a target? Suppressing his excitement, Kichang politely asks to check the cart. The old woman agrees easily, but his mind races. Ilbong, oh Ilbong, what earth-shattering clue have you actually discovered? Bingo! A single pink slipper. Is this a clue from the missing girl? But the woman says she only found this one all by itself. The trail goes cold again. Another dead end. Kichang crouches, watching the carefree Ilbong, lost in thought. Has living a life of comfort dulled the fangs and instincts of a bear raised indoors. An earth-shattering plan explodes in Kichang's mind. We must preserve Ilbong's wild instincts. He jumps up, fists clenched like a warrior ready for battle. And then, the heroic facade shatters. Jeonal, get the car ready. We're going shopping for hiking gear. Back at school, Jung Yoon succumbs to terminal heartbreak syndrome. He's drowning in regret. Why did he take Jaiwong to the mixer, literally handing a goddess like Mun Chae-yun to his best friend? Jaiwong debuts a fresh, handsome new hairstyle. As he walks down the street, a certain person's words echo in his mind. Pushing your bangs back would look good. I wonder who that could be? Jaiwong drops a bombshell of an invitation. Come to my house after school. We happen to have a brown bear living there. The word brown bear triggers a 9.0 magnitude earthquake in his friend's pupils. But the real trouble is just beginning. Lee Seoji walks into the classroom with an expression that could freeze hell. She looks straight at Jaiwong and states, "You, come with me." Even through the screen, her aura is terrifying. Every step down the hallway is torture. COG cuts straight to the chase. Why did you suddenly form an alliance with Chang Wol-hai? Explain everything to me from the beginning. Beads of cold sweat break out on Jaiwong's forehead. On the rooftop, COG presses him about what happened at the party. Jaiwong's brain short-circuits. All he can see is the flashback of Mun Chae-yun's sudden, unexpected kiss. He stammers, his excuse is full of holes. COG's intuition blares like a siren. You're definitely hiding something, Kong Jaiwong. Fine, if you won't tell me, I'll go ask Song Jung-suk instead. Panic mode activated. Desperate, Jaiwong remembers his secret weapon. He pulls out his phone, showing a picture of a fluffy brown cub. After school, want to come see the brown bear in my house? A brown bear. COG stares in confusion. The next moment, upon seeing the adorable cub on the screen, her entire mode switches. What? It's so cute. I'm coming. I'm definitely coming. Jaiwong's crisis, temporarily averted. The final bell rings. Jaiwong, COG, Jung-suk, and his little sister Doon form the bear-watching squad, setting off in high spirits. Destination: the legendary pet, Kong Ilbong. But they're met with jaw-dropping news. Jianho scratches his head awkwardly. Kichang Hyung took Ilbong to Mount Hobear for training. What? That's a fenced-off, dangerous mountain where wild animals roam. Meanwhile, deep in the heart of Mount Hobear, Kichang, backpack on, leads Ilbong into the foreboding woods. His goal is explicit: to help this pampered young master rediscover the wild instincts in its blood. A kind old hiker points out that he might be going the wrong way. Kichang just smiles cryptically. His destination is No Pet Cafe. Climbing over the no-entry fence, they step into truly dangerous territory. Kichang's eyes are resolute. Ilbong, this wilderness, this is the true domain of our brown bear family. Setting Ilbong down from the carrier pack, he watches it curiously sniff the forest air. Kichang's voice is filled with pride and anticipation. How does it feel, huh? Surrounded by nature's breath, the sun begins its descent. Kichang realizes with growing dread that he's lost. The secret markers he left years ago when training Jaiwong. They vanished. An unsettling premonition washes over him. Night falls, coating the forest in a sinister darkness. Just then, Ilbong suddenly points in a specific direction. Could it be that the wilderness has truly awakened its primal instincts, guiding them to safety? Ki-song, the former bad guy mentor, watches from afar as his young master Juang actually uses the very lines he taught him for business. He melts instantly, tears flowing. The young master, he remembers. This little moment of legacy is all he needs to cherish. But the good times don't last. Juang's transformation is too obvious, and he's quickly rewarded with a parent-teacher conference summons from his teacher. This throws the entire brown bear gang family into a frenzy. After a tense round of rock, paper, scissors, Guess who wins the honor of representing the family at school? Ki-song. The next day, the school gate explodes with spectacle. Uncle Ki-song makes a dazzling, flamboyant entrance, doing a super aggro escort for Juong. 1,000% turnaround rate. He never stops teaching on the way. How to spit for maximum thug effect, how to swagger walk to look manly. In the midst of this awkwardness, he lowers his voice and asks about the soul ring. Juong's heart skips a beat. He lies, saying it's safe at home. But Ki-song is no fool. He reads the shift in the young master's eyes instantly. Alarm bells go off in his head. This lie might not hold up. The main event is here. The gymnasium turns into a gladiator arena, and Juong transforms into a god of slaughter. Shin Jiang-cheol, the former school bully, doesn't stand a chance against real power. Juong's fists are like hammers, every strike screaming with bone-crunching force. Jiang-cheol gets desperate, pulls a knife to play dirty. Dream on. Ki-song and his crew appear out of nowhere, a cold no weapons allowed, sealing his fate. Juong snatches the blade away and proceeds to pummel Jiang-cheol into the ground with pure, raw violence. Deafening silence in the gym. Juong stands over the crumpled Shin Jiang-cheol, blood on his face, panting as he roars, "Now, who's a worse man?" The words echo in the empty space, but they ricochet back into his own soul. Looking down at the unconscious opponent who can't even fight back, the thrill of vengeance is instantly devoured by a yawning emptiness. Song Jung-suk rushes forward to pull him back. Enough! But a voice inside Juong asks, is it really enough? He won what he wanted to win, but it feels like he lost something else entirely. Fire Bear Mountain, full of danger. Ki-song takes the little brown bear, one bear, for training, finding the secret cave where he once trained the young master Juong. This cave holds memories of both young masters. He leaves the dark-fearing one bear inside and ventures out alone for food. And bam, he runs into an old friend, a giant wild boar, massive as a hill now, that he had once spared years ago. We've met before, right? The X-shaped scar on Ki-song's forehead, earned protecting the young master, begins to throb. Old enemies cross paths, new grudges on top of old. This vengeful beast, with its offspring, has come to settle the score. Uncle Chi-sang's escort to school makes more of a statement than a gang fight. He's coaching Ji-hung on how to spit and walk with true man swagger. The real bomb drops when he asks about the family ring again. Ji-hung dodges, saying it's at home. Uncle's look? Let's just say he doesn't buy it for a second. Teacher-parent conferences aren't for grades with this guy. It's a recon mission. The moment a teacher tries to complain, Uncle Chi-sang shuts it down with pure intimidation, twisting the words to his advantage. He's not here to talk. He's investigating the school's dark underbelly and sniffing out anyone who dares touch his young master. Meanwhile, on the streets, the real fuse is lit. Jean-chul the fool is flaunting the stolen emerald ring to his small-time friends, counting imaginary cash in his head. Little does he know, this ring has painted a target on his back. The Brown Bear Gang's fury is closing in, and he's the main course. Student Council President Da Hwan drops a bombshell and a deal. The school wants to expel the gangster heir. To stay, Jae-hung must become the school's official enforcer, wiping out bullies in the name of ending school violence. It's a contract with the devil for survival. He has no choice. He agrees. Becoming the school kingpin earns him a terrifying coronation. His father hosts a lavish party and forces underage Ji-hung to drink, calling it a rite of passage. Amidst the celebration, shadows of internal gang politics loom. But the most brutal ceremony is waiting for him on the rooftop. On the rooftop, beside a burning barrel, his father demands his past. 2 boxes full of good deed award from a lifetime of pretending. Burn them, he commands. Say goodbye to the good citizen. Tears stream down as Ji-hung sets his own decade-long facade ablaze. It's the ultimate, irreversible goodbye to the person he tried to be. He burned his past, but not the memories of Soo-jin, the girl he did it all for. Her silence is deafening. Alone on the cold rooftop, feeling utterly lost, his phone rings. The caller ID? Lee Seo-jin. In the endless dark, she's the only lifeline he has to cling to. Expecting a breather? Fat chance. Waiting for him the next day at school is Jo Eun-ho, the school's number 2, cocky and confident at the basketball court. You'll join me, his smirk says. For Ji-hung, trouble just keeps lining up at the door. He's even childishly proud of learning to spit like a bad guy. But the price of this new identity is the fear and isolation in the eyes of his classmates. As he walks toward the basketball court, the whole school watches. Everyone knows the storm is about to break. Eun-ho tries to recruit him with boss talk, but Ji-hung shreds his ego with one line. You're just number 2 under Lee Du-bok. Insulted and furious, Eun-ho chooses brute force. In his own territory, he launches a savage aerial punch that smashes Ji-hung to the ground. The fight rages, Eun-ho pressing his advantage. But when all seems lost, Ji-hung unleashes the beast. As a ball flies at him, he roars and crushes it with one hand. The court goes silent in shock. Then, he rams the ball onto Eun-ho's head and unleashes a brutal counterattack. The fight is over, but the terror has just begun. With the ball's carcass pressed over his face, Ji-hung whispers threats into a beaten and surrendered Eun-ho's ear. This isn't a win. It's a complete and utter demolition of body and soul. The new order in school has arrived, and it's brutal. Just as Ji-hung thinks he must face the final boss Lee Du-bok, the man reveals his true colors. I won't fight you. Lee Du-bok's mission? To secretly protect and prop up the young master for the Brown Bear Gang. The entire path to power was laid out by Father Han-guk all along. To fake a defeat, Lee Du-bok commits to a bizarre and dark spectacle. He attacks the air and beats himself up. It's a twisted farce. Ji-hung watches in disbelief, realizing there's no turning back from the brutal script his family has written for him. With a bruised face, Lee Du-bok formally surrenders. The title of leader of Jurong High now belongs to Kang Ji-hung. He even bows and calls him young master. The news spreads like wildfire across schools. The name Kang Ji-hung now carries a weight that commands fear and attention. Walking the school halls as the new kingpin, Ji-hung feels the weight, not the glory. Every eye is on him. Fear, disgust, calculation. He knows he's the center of the storm now. He must push forward because, for him, there is no going back. In the restroom, Ji-hung tears his frayed sleeve off, staring down the fierce-eyed stranger in the mirror. Become the leader. Become the heir. It's his final pep talk to a soul that's already half gone. Then, Seo-jin runs to him in tears, seeing his bruised face and assuming the worst. In a moment of panic and tenderness, he catches her as she stumbles. It's a rare pocket of warmth in this cold new world. But the peace is shattered by text, Soo-jin's message. We need to talk. Park Myung-jun, the leader of Changyak High, shows up and openly bothers Soo-jin. Watching his childhood friend get harassed, Ji-hung's rage boils over. He confronts Myung-jun head-on. The tension explodes as Myung-jun starts a countdown to a fight. The fight is called off because of Soo-jin's tears. As he leaves, Myung-jun gives Ji-hung a loaded look and promises to throw him a victory party as the new boss. It sounds less like an invitation and more like a threat. In a rare moment of social grace, Ji-hung awkwardly tells Seo-jin she looks pretty today. The blunt and strong-willed girl is completely caught off guard, heart fluttering. This socially clumsy guy might just be getting somewhere. They get caught chatting in class, and for the first time ever, Seo-jin doesn't talk back. His friends tease him about the sudden progress. To learn how to deal with Myung-jun, Ji-hung decides to seek Seo-jin's help for gaming training. A virtual battle is about to commence. Trouble finds him again. Gang strategist Yang Jae-wook is hunting down posers using the Brown Bear name. Ji-hung gets cornered at a PC bang by these fakes who try to recruit him. Then, like a thunderclap, Yang Jae-wook and his men arrive, taking control in seconds. A brutal interrogation begins. The posers, broken under pressure, finally give up a name. Park Woo-jang, the puppeteer behind them, and his contact info. This thread could unravel the entire web of enemies and the mastermind behind the earlier attack. The danger is getting closer. After gaming practice, Ji-hung and Seo-jin walk home. Asked about his dreams, he's lost. Her simple wish to be a good wife and mother clashes violently with his inevitable path as a gang heir. Then, after a worrying call from her family, he sees a missed call from his friend Jong-yoon. An uneasy feeling settles in. A new, fuzzy member joins the household, a bear cub named Il-wung. The uncles argue comically over how to address this bear young master. Only the cool-headed Yang Jae-wook declares, "Protect it like we protect the young master." In this underworld family, even a bear cub gets membership rights. Meanwhile, Il-wung the bear cub faces his own trial. Deep in the mountains, Uncle Chi-sang fights a boar to a standstill. On the brink of defeat, Il-wung, trembling with fear in his cave, makes a choice. Worry for his protector overcomes his terror. He charges out, unleashing a wild fury, and helps turn the tide. Uncle Chi-sang rewards Il-wung by turning the boar's tusk into a necklace, honoring his rediscovered wildness. When they return home, both bandaged, to Ji-hung, the reunion is heartwarming and hilarious. But the wild glint in Il-wung's eyes and his tusk necklace are a clear sign. This is no ordinary pet anymore. The school war front is back. Park Myung-jun announces an alliance with Jirong High, their target. Majin High. Internal resistance is fierce, but he persuades them all. Simultaneously, Ji-hung rallies his Jirong forces for secret training. The countdown to a three-school war has begun. While Ji-hung is clumsily planning a meet-up with a girl named Moon Chae-yoon, the girl herself is hiding behind a bench, listening to everything. She steps out, turns the tables, and smiles coolly. I heard it all. You'll do it my way. The hunt just got flipped. Who's in control now? After helping the little girl, Ji-woon can't shake off his worry for the missing Lee Soo-ji and Soo-jin. Just as he's spiraling, class president Hwang Dae-hyun appears. This scheming genius cuts to the chase. The school wants to transfer their gangster heir away, but he offers a way out. If Ji-woon takes on the role of cleaning up school violence, the teachers will not only keep him in school, but support him. A win-win deal. Does he take it? Ji-woon agrees to the wild plan. He and Hwang Dae-hyun pitch it to the teachers, and despite some pushback, they get the go-ahead. But a moral crisis hits Ji-woon. Using violence in the name of justice? What does that make him? Worse, both Soo-ji and Soo-jin are absent. After school, he parts ways with his loyal friend Song Jong-suk, who heads to judo practice with a limp. And right on cue, several pairs of vengeful eyes lock onto the vulnerable, limping Jong-suk from the shadows. Perfect prey. Back with Ji-woon, he's losing his mind. Soo-jin's phone goes straight to voicemail. He rushes home, desperate for help, but his gangster uncles just mock him. Maybe she's with that punk Shin Kyung-chul. The remark stabs deep. Shaken, he storms out of the house. Meanwhile, in a dark alley, Shin Kyung-chul's six-man revenge squad corners the isolated, vulnerable Song Jong-suk. Weapons are drawn. This is not a fair fight. His father calls him to the rooftop and presents the most brutal gift of all. 2 massive boxes filled with every single good deed award certificate Ji-woon earned over his tenure disguise. The command is absolute. Burn them. Cut ties with your past. Kneeling, hands trembling, heartbreaking, Ji-woon throws his trophies of kindness into the flames. He cries as his old life turns to ash. His father embraces him, whispers he's proud, and leaves. Alone on the rooftop with the embers, Ji-woon knows there's no turning back. And then, in his deepest solitude, his phone rings. It's Lee Soo-ji. Ji-woon slips past his overprotective family to meet Lee Soo-ji, who arrives on her motorcycle. They walk to a nearby park, and the mood surprisingly lightens. Soo-ji quietly recalls this is the spot where he hit her forehead with a rock as a kid. Ji-woon, a bit startled, asks if it left a scar. That's all it takes. The tough-talking Soo-ji blushes furiously, stammers, and in a flash of panic, hops on her bike and speeds away. Ji-woon is left standing there, utterly confused by this sudden, sweet reversal. The entire fake gang is rounded up and dragged to a secret interrogation room in the PC room's basement. Yang Jae-wook takes matters into his own hands, and after a quick, brutal chat, the ringleader, Kim Jong-min, is spilling everything. The mastermind is a senior from a different school named Park Woo-jang, who used fake Brown Bear's credentials to manipulate them. A bigger fish is confirmed. Jae-wook secures 2 key clues: Park Woo-jang's phone and a pink slipper. The hunt begins. The crisis explodes. Ji-seong's phone calls only ever get a busy tone. His childhood sweetheart has vanished. Frantically rushing home for help, all he gets from his uncles are drunken jokes. Maybe she's off with that punk. That sentence is the final straw, shattering his last thread of sanity. He slams the door and storms out. 10 years of holding back vanish in an instant. Rage has turned him into a desperate beast. Meanwhile, the gears of revenge grind coldly into motion. Sure Jing-chae, shorn of his hair and dignity, is a ghost clawing back from hell. He gathers 6 others brimming with hatred in a dark alleyway. His eyes hold nothing but madness. I have nothing left to lose. This isn't a threat. It's a declaration of all-out, destructive war. The scene cuts to a jarringly warm moment. Song Jong-soo gently holding his little sister's hand. This cruel contrast is the calm before the storm. The weakest link is targeted with chilling precision. Sure Jingche's gang initially eyes little Duoin, alone and vulnerable. But then, they spot unexpected prey around the corner. Song Jong-soo, still limping from his injury. Their eyes gleam. The target shifts instantly. 1 against 6, ambushed with weapons. Even a judo master stands no chance. We only see flashes, imagining the sickening thuds until Jong-soo crumples to the ground like a broken sack. A scene straight from Hell slams into Ji Seong's vision. One moment, he's comforting little Doan. The next, he watches in horror as Song Jong-soo is hauled like cargo into a decrepit van. Time freezes, filled only by Duoen's heart-wrenching screams. Blood drains from his face, but he forces himself to stay calm. Clenching his fists until they turn white, he hugs the trembling girl tightly. Don't be scared. I'll save him. He must get the innocent to safety first, before he can plunge into the abyss alone. Hope shatters. He rushes home for reinforcements, only to find his uncles passed out drunk. Despair threatens to swallow him whole. Then, his phone lights up. Sui Zhan is calling. He answers with a trembling hand, only to be met with mocking from the depths of hell. Sure, Jingqi's voice is cold as ice. Your girl and that overconfident friend of yours are with me. Want to save them? Come alone. No cops. No uncles. It's a death trap, perfectly crafted for him. And he has no choice but to walk in. It's over, completely over. Jiang Zhixiong rushed back to base for backup, but what did he find? His most trusted uncles, out cold after a drunk fest. Just as despair takes hold, his phone rings. Han Sujin's caller ID. But when he answers, the voice on the other end is none other than Shin Jiangchul, dripping with malice. Shin Jiangchul had a blade to Sujin and Song Jung-suk's throats. His ultimatum was chilling. Jiang Zhixiong, you want to save them? Come to the abandoned factory. Alone. No cops, no uncles. It was a death trap, plain and simple. With backup out of the question, it was all on him now. Trap or not, Zhixiong had to go. He snatched his jacket and stormed out, a new, desperate resolve in his eyes. And what do you know? Midway, he ran into Li Cog on her motorbike. A twist of fate, or a lifesaver in waiting. Cog took one look at him and saw a man on a suicide mission. What good will you do running over there? She demanded. But before he could argue, she was on the bike. Get on. It wasn't an offer. It was an order. The engine roared as they raced into the night, toward the unknown slaughterhouse. Near the factory, Zhixiong ordered Cog to leave. Go. From here on, it's just me. His voice was cold steel, protecting her, but also severing all safety nets. Cog pretended to comply and rode away. But as her taillights vanished, a lone figure slipped into the factory's dark embrace. Bang! The iron door flew open under Jiang Zhixiong's kick. Inside, Shin Jiangchul and 5 goons waited, grinning like cats that got the cream. His childhood sweetheart Sujin and the badly injured Jung-suk were tied up in a corner. You really came alone, Jiangchul sneered. Idiot. But the grins wouldn't last long. Zhixiong's gaze swept over them. It wasn't fear, it was a verdict. You all, he said, his voice low and final, are done. The mask of the good guy he wore for a decade was gone. In this moment, the gangster blood in his veins came to a full, furious boil. The fight erupted. The thugs thought 6-on-1 was a sure win. How wrong they were. Zhixiong didn't retreat. He charged forward. A devastating punch slammed into the lead goon's face. A fist powered by the monstrous grip that could bend steel. Amidst the screams, bodies flew. 1-2. Jiang Zhixiong, moving like a furious lion through the pack. Every blow was head-on, every strike fueled by the will to crush. The smug look on Shin Jiangchul's face finally froze solid. Meanwhile, Li Cog had stealthily made her way to Song Jung-suk. She desperately gnawed through the ropes, binding his wrists with her teeth. Quick go, she whispered. But the moment the rope fell loose. Get her! A sharp yell. Another thug had spotted them. Cog only had time to see a wooden club swinging towards her face before everything went dark. Her desperate rescue attempt ended right there. Jung-suk was free, but his body, battered and broken, couldn't even stand, let alone fight. He watched Cog get knocked out, fury burning in his eyes, but lacked the strength to even crawl to her. The factory descended into pure, desperate chaos. At this moment, numbers meant nothing to Jiang Zhixiong. Only the goal and the trash in his way. His fists, his elbows. Each strike landed with brutal precision on a vital point. A decade of suppressing himself as a good guy was all pouring out as the most primal, raw violence. Outnumbered? Watch him tear through them all. Shin Jiangchul panicked. He barked at his lackeys. All of you, hold him down. The remaining thugs swarmed Zhixiong, grabbing his legs, trying to lock his neck. The dirtiest of street gang tactics to pin him down. Trying to suppress an awakened beast? Dream on. Every muscle in Zhixiong's body tensed as he erupted with explosive force. With a violent heave, he flung the thug clinging to his neck away, smashing him into a rusty iron frame. The tide turned in an instant. The swarm of attackers now lay scattered on the ground, groaning in pain. Jiang Zhixiong slowly straightened up, shook out his numb arms, and began walking step by step toward the only one still standing, Shin Jiangchul. Shin Jiangchul's face paled, his knife-wielding hand trembling. Looking at his fallen crew, Then back at Jiang Zhixiong, who stood like a god of slaughter, it finally dawned on him. He had messed with the wrong person. This wasn't some weak student. This was the true heir to the underworld throne. But Zhixiong's gaze wasn't fixed on Jiang Chul. His eyes were locked on the corner, on the unconscious Li Xiaoji, and on Song Jung-suk struggling to crawl toward her. A chill, colder than before, rose from the depths of his stare. You. Zhixiong's voice was a ragged whisper, like sandpaper on stone. You touched her. It wasn't a question. It was a death sentence, confirmed. Shin Jiangchul's final act of madness had ignited the most terrifying fury in Zhixiong's heart. What came next wouldn't be a duel. It would be an execution. Inside the abandoned factory, only Shin Jiangchul's desperate cries and the sickening thud of flesh meeting flesh remained. This kidnapping scheme, this revenge plot, was doomed from the start to be his utter undoing. The two people he took, the woman he wanted, the man he hated, had, in the end, become the catalyst that shoved him straight into the abyss. The aftermath was a scene of brutal clarity. Zhixiong stood amidst the carnage he'd wrought, battered but unbroken. His knuckles were raw, his breaths heavy, but his focus was already shifting. To COG, to Jung-suk. The cost of this victory lay at his feet, a stark reminder of the world he was now fully immersed in. He walked over to COG, knelt on one knee, and gently checked her breathing. Still alive, just unconscious. This girl who always gave him a hard time, yet risked her life to help him in the clutch, sent a sharp pang through his cold heart. And all of this was witnessed, from the very corner he'd fought to reach, by Han Sujin, the girl whose safety had started this whole nightmare. Tears streamed silently down Sujin's face. She watched the fury in his fighting, the frantic worry in his eyes as he checked on COG, the profile that bore no resemblance to the gentle boy from a decade ago. In that moment, she might have finally understood what she had lost, and what she had herself pushed into an irreversible abyss. But Zhixiong had no time for such reflections. He tore off part of his own shirt and, clumsily but firmly, began bandaging Jung-suk's still bleeding wounds. Hold on, brother. His voice was low. Jung-suk looked at him, this former good guy he once protected, now a beast who could stand alone. He managed a weak smile and nodded. In the distance, the piercing wail of police sirens finally cut through the night. Someone, despite the threats, had called the cops. The immediate chaos seemed to be ending. But Jiang Zhixiong knew the real trouble was just beginning. What would happen when the uncles woke up? The fallout at school? And most importantly, after tonight, where would he stand with Sujin, with COG, with everyone around him? The fate of the gangster heir had its jaws wide open, waiting to swallow him whole. He gave COG one last look, pointed out their location to the arriving officers, then turned and walked deeper into the factory shadows, ignoring all calls. Some paths were meant to be walked alone. Some debts had to be repaid in his own way. The red and blue police lights flashed behind him, illuminating his solitary yet unyielding silhouette. The factory incident was over, but the story of Jiang Zhixiong, his path as a bad guy, was barreling toward its most brutal and real climax. The next time he stood before anyone, there would be no more masks. And Shin Jiangchul, the architect of it all, was dragged into a police car like a dead dog. He stared back at the darkness where Zhixiong had vanished, his eyes filled with bitter resentment and insane hatred. Alas, the howls of the defeated are destined to be drowned out by the tide of events. The Pandora's box he himself opened had unleashed a monster, and the first to be devoured was its own creator. The night was still long, the wind cold. Jiang Zhixiong melted into the city's veins like a drop of ink into deeper darkness. His phone screen lit up, a blank message from Li Xiaoji's number. Perhaps she pressed it by accident before passing out. Or perhaps it was a wordless thread of concern. He stared at that empty line, silent for a long, long time. The darkest hour before dawn. Jiang Zhixiong leaned against a cold wall and lit a cigarette. The flame briefly illuminated his weary, yet sharp features. The bloody fight in the factory replayed in his mind like a film. He had won in the most violent way possible. But deep down, he knew this victory had only shoved him closer to the real war ahead. The shadow of the Dan Dragon Gang, his father's expectations, the whirlpool of school politics, it all still lay ahead. And for him, there was no turning back. Abandoned factory, Kong Jiwoong walks alone into the trap. Confronted by 6 goons led by Shin Jiangchul, he calmly proclaims, "You're finished." That's not a threat, it's a promise. The fight erupts instantly. The terrifying grip strength Jiwoong developed over 10 years is now a lethal weapon. The first goon's wrist snaps like a twig in his palm. No time to scream, just instantly disabled. It's a one-sided slaughter. Ji-woong dodges and weaves, and every foe he grabs collapses like a puppet with its strings cut. In the chaos, Lee Seok, who sneaked in, seizes the chance to free Song Young-suk. Too late. Cog is spotted and knocked unconscious with a single blow. On the other side, the seriously injured Young-suk tries to fight, but his body fails him. Ji-woong is completely isolated. Shin Jiang-cheol panics as he watches his men fall like bowling pins. He rips off his shirt in a frenzy. No fabric, nowhere for this monster to grab. This kid's gone completely mad. He pulls out a knife, eyes blazing with desperate fury. Armed with a blade versus an unarmed Ji-woong, who also has to protect his unconscious friend. The fight just got a whole lot dirtier. The cold glint of the blade grazes past vital points. Ji-woong barely dodges a fatal stab, only to be brutally kicked away. Crumpled on the floor, with Jiang-cheol's maniacal laughter closing in, it feels like the gymnasium humiliation all over again. In this desperate moment, he remembers Uncle Chi-sang's words. A real bad guy doesn't just rely on brute force. There's an ultimate move designed specifically for the strongest grip power. Now, the moment his hand clamps on a Jiang-cheol's knife-wielding wrist, Ji-woong's fingers explode with power. 10 years of relentless grip training culminate in the devastating infinite pickaxe. A scream that sounds less than human rips through the air. Jiang-cheol's wrist shatters under the pressure as he's slammed into the ground like a sack of meat. Victory, is it? Oh no! Before Ji-woong can even catch his breath, heavy footsteps echo ominously. A tattooed, wolf-eyed giant steps into the factory, his presence shifting the very ground. Shin's gangster backup has arrived, Park Woo-jang. He's on a completely different level from these schoolyard thugs. Ji-woong puts his full power into a punch to the chest, and the man doesn't even flinch. Woo-jang scoffs and casually returns the favor with a backhand blow. Ji-woong is sent flying like he was hit by a truck, his insides churning. The gap in power is utterly despairing. The real massacre begins. All of Ji-woong's attacks feel like tickles, while Woo-jang's every punch carries the sickening crunch of breaking bones. This isn't a fight. It's a grown-up gangster toying with a kid. Woo-jang grabs Ji-woong by the throat, lifting him like a rag doll. His eyes are cold. His fingers begin to squeeze. Suffocation, death. This is the final surprise Shin arranged for him. Outside the window, in another part of the city, a conversation between Lee Seok and her brother Lee Do-bak reveals a deeper plot. Within Jin Chong, someone is scheming to recruit students from Jin High School into the rival gang, Dalgong Bang. At Jin High, Park Dal-min, the disguised vice boss of Dalgong Bang posing as the principal, juggles a call from his boss while dealing with student Do Won-hyo who shows up at his door. The fuse for a region-wide gang war has long been lit. Inside the judo gym, Park Myung-jun and Kim Young-jeon, who've just reconciled with Ji-woong, endure hellish training under Song Young-suk. Real combat is different from training. They must prepare for the coming storm. At his apartment window, Ji-woong promises Cog he'll defeat Jin High tomorrow. Behind this youthful bravado, he's completely unaware that the factory trap and his gangster destiny are about to consume him. At their farewell, Cog's confession, "I only want to see the movie with you alone," is the final sliver of peace and sweetness before the storm. But after he turns away, her inner monologue betrays the truth. My God, so violent. The path he's chosen leaves no room for romance. On the street, Cog's conversation with her brother Do-bak points directly at the core threat. The real big problem is Do Won-hyo. The very name carries an ominous chill. Elsewhere, as Ji-woong heads out, his uncles are frantic with worry and try to slip him a dagger. He refuses, adhering to Dae-wook's iron rule. No weapons. He has no idea that in the abandoned factory, someone is waiting to crush such naivety with the ruthless law of the underworld. The gears of fate grind together in a frenzy. On the street, Ji-woong meets up with Young-suk, ready to rally. Seems like the guys are all here, let's go. But are they walking towards a battlefield of victory or a carefully prepared slaughterhouse? The suspense is at its peak. Bridge narration. Inside the factory, Park Woo-jang prepares to deliver the killing blow. Outside, the storm continues to gather. Bridge narration. At this crossroads of fate, what awaits these young men isn't a celebration. It's a trial of blood and fire. Bridge narration. The quiet confession before the storm forms the cruelest contrast with the suffocating menace inside the factory. Bridge narration. The tendrils of the conspiracy have spread far, while Kong Jung, at the very center of the vortex, now hangs by a thread. Bridge narration. The many threads of this story are about to collide for the first and most violent time within the despairing walls of this factory. Bridge narration. Information overload this episode. From schoolyard brawls to gangster showdowns and regional conspiracies, Kang Ji-woong's world is crumbling and reforming at breakneck speed. Ending suspense narration. Kang Ji-woong, you fool who chose to become a bad guy. Can you still claw your way back from the edge of hell this time? Find out in the next episode. This is no ordinary schoolyard fight. Park Myung-joon from Chongyuk High has basically brought half his gang with him. He's here for a full-scale war with Majian High. Just look at this mob. This is going to get bloody. The two forces clash from the streets into the alleys. Park Myung-joon's crew charges head-on, full of rage. The shaved head squad doesn't flinch either. And get this, they've got backup waiting in the wings. Their main force is already in position. Chaos descends. The mob surges forward like crazy, but what do they find when they get there? A bunch of shaved head dudes, casually playing a game of soccer? Absolutely no one is taking them seriously. The students are dumbfounded. They came for a fight, not to watch these uncles play ball. This is a straight-up humiliation. Some are already losing it, ready to call out their leader, Do Won-hyo, to face them directly. Plot twist. That long-haired kid, Kang Ji-woong, takes the ball. He smiles and asks, "You guys so interested in my ears?" On closer look, that's a cross hanging from his earlobe. Identity revealed. The bald crew sees the cross earring and their blood runs cold. This guy's from Jurong High, and standing next to him, the judo monster, Song Young-suk. How they team up with Park Myung-joon. This is bad. The bald faction freaks out. The new boss of Jurong High, Kang Ji-woong, is here. Quick, go get Do Won-hyo. Panic has officially set in for these guys. Do Won-hyo's men are being pushed back. They realize in horror that Changyeok's Park Myung-joon has actually formed an alliance with Jirong's Kang Ji-woong. Ji-woong scans the field and asks coldly, "Which one's Do Won-hyo? Show yourself." Do Won-hyo himself hasn't shown, but his underlings can't hold back. A bald guy charges out, screaming at Park Myung-joon for betraying the alliance. A massive brawl is about to explode. Park Myung-joon just laughs. He says mockingly, "That alliance, it's about to disappear." Those words are the final match. The leader closes his eyes, starts chanting. He's ready to go all out. Chongyuk, Jirong, combo attack. With a furious roar, Park Myung-joon leads the charge. The pent-up rage finally explodes. The all-out war is on. Chase. Run. Screaming Do Won-hyo's name. Park Myung-joon's crew chases the bald ones, shouting about sending these cultists to meet the Buddha. The situation is completely out of control. The scene flashes back. 1 year ago, in the headquarters of the Korean Tamryong gang, an elder is pouring tea for a young, shaven-headed man. This youth is none other than Do Won-hyo. The elder, Do Samryong, looks at his grandson, Do Won-hyo, and issues the ultimate order with authority. "I'm sending you to Korea this time, to wipe out the Brown Bears gang. Leave no trace." The elder grins like an old fox, adding a deadly twist. "I hear Brown Bear's boss, Kang Han-guk, has a son your age. Go, get close to him. This will be useful when the time comes." Do Won-hyo's heart sinks. He understands the grim play. Flashback over. Back to the battlefield. Kang Yevo-ok moves. He's a blur, taking down a bald officer with a single punch. He boasts, "Majian High." Pathetic. But the next second, all the hairs on Ji-woong's neck stand up. An ambush from behind. Park Myung-joon's terrified warning and the whistling of a swung bat arrive at the same time. In the nick of time, Song Young-suk arrives, kicking the ambusher away. His expression is grave. Don't get careless. We still don't know who Do Won-hyo is or what hidden dangers are here. Just then, the long-haired guy with the cross earring steps forward. He eyes the sea of bald heads and smirks. "If we can't find the boss, maybe I'll use these baldies for some soccer practice first." The fight erupts again. The long-haired guy moves like a ghost, beating down the baldies while mocking them. This dump of a school is just a thug training center, right? His power is unfathomable. He kicks a massive bald guy flying, then complains about how hard his head was upon landing. The remaining baldies are terrified and dumbfounded. This isn't a student, it's a monster. The baldies are coughing up blood, but still talking trash. The long-haired guy keeps up the assault, saying coldly, "Your learning ability is pathetic. Total domination. No contest." The long-haired guy is just playing now. He transforms into a human spinning top, rotating at high speed through the crowd. Everywhere he goes, baldies are sent flying like bowling pins. Clean sweep. A single guy with a cross earring took down every single one of them. Standing in the center, he says casually, "I told you to rush me all at once, not one by one." Everyone watching is in shock. One bald guy tries to sneak attack, but the long-haired guy's reflexes are unreal. He dodges effortlessly, even acting startled. The would-be ambusher's morale shatters. Are his reaction times inhuman? The real officers make their move. Majian Hai's officer Lee Ma-jun steps in. No weapon. The long-haired guy instantly sees through him. What's that black dot on your forehead? Lee Mayun notices it. He draws his weapon, a string of prayer beads. He roars, "Idiot! This isn't a necklace, it's a rosary." The next moment, the beads become a bladed whirlwind, screaming towards his foe. Crack! The beads whip across the long-haired guy's arm. He breaks out in a cold sweat from the pain. What the hell? That's not normal. The baldies cheer. It's here. Lee Ma-jun's steel rosary. This guy's finished. Lee Ma-jun brandishes his steel bead rosary, declaring victory. When I draw this weapon, it signals my win. The long-haired guy grins through the pain. Is that little necklace of yours longer than my leg? Round 2 starts now. Meanwhile, at the police station, Shin Kyung-chul and his pathetic gang were still trying their last-ditch sob story, playing the victims. Officer Kim didn't even flinch. He just slammed a stack of evidence on the table. Shin's cunning was nothing against cold judicial process. Prison bars were all that awaited them now. That night at the factory ripped away the last shred of Kong Ji-woong's nice guy persona. He walked towards Lee Soo-ji and the waiting black car, every step like walking on broken glass. Soo-jin's fading cries were drowned out by the engine's roar. He had just buried the very goodness that once warmed her childhood. Shin Kyung-chul actually thought his little schemes could turn this around? The idiot. When Kong Ji-woong made his choice to wear the brown bear's ring, the entire game changed overnight. Schoolyard thug tactics were laughable against the weight of a real syndicate. Think that was the end? Look out the window. The real storm is just starting. The Mujijinjiang Alliance members have arrived, and badasses like Song Jung-suk are about to face them head-on. This is the first explosion of the chain reaction from Ji-woong's identity revelation. There's no more peace on these school grounds from today on. Song Jung-suk is surrounded. Look at his face. That's not fear, it's pure excitement. The man is actually smiling as they circle him. You think you're ganging up on him? He sees you all as warm-up targets. And the bald guy with the stick thinks reach matters? Has he not heard Song's nickname? Human weapon? Now it gets real. Do One Hyo. The head of Majian High steps into the arena. Look at that presence, that overwhelming aura. This is the kind of opponent on Kong Ji-woong's level. The way he pats that bald guy's shoulder and calls him just a fat guy. Savage. The real main event starts now. Majian versus the Changwo Jialan Alliance, face to face. The bald Majian officer is directing things from inside, thinking he's got it all under control. Besides Kong Ji-woong, Jialan has another dangerous person. Bro, your intel is way outdated. Look out the window at your men. Song Jung-suk is steamrolling 4 or 5 of them single-handedly. That wooden stick is like a toy in his hands. Dragon versus tiger looks more like a one-sided slaughter. Look at these baldies, completely bewildered by Song Jung-suk alone. 5 against 1, their sticks are about to break, and they can't even touch him. The guy holding the stick is shaking. He's swearing internally. Damn it. He's not even taking this seriously. Exactly. To Song Jung-suk, you're all just kindergartners playing house. Despair. Utter despair. These guys try to swarm Song Jung-suk, only to break down mentally first. The bald guy's psychological defenses are shattered. I can't take him down at all. Of course you can't. With what? Your pathetic stick? Do you know how many people Song takes down in the judo dojo every day? The skill gap is laughably huge. This is comedy gold. The bald guy shouts with his whole chest, "Your opponent is me." And then Song Jung-suk just says, "Release," and the guy crumbles to the ground. Didn't even get touched, just got psychologically crushed by the aura alone. And this is Majian Hai's best. Embarrassing. Kong Ji-woong would be too bored to even fight these guys. The bald guy still won't give up, spinning his stick like a circus act. My martial arts will send you to paradise? You showboat in front of Song Jung-suk? He catches sticks like they're chopsticks. Have you ever seen wooden sticks in actual martial arts tournaments? He could dismantle your bones with bare hands. Fast. Too fast. Song Jung-suk got serious that instant. The way he grabbed the stick, so fast there were after images. What kind of insane reflexes are those? The bald guy's sweating bullets now. How did he catch it? Because you're slow, man. In front of real combat instinct, your routines are just choreography. A power show. Pure violent aesthetics. Song Jung-suk uses that long pole as a lever and lifts the bald guy like a chicken. The scene is surreal. He's lifting me with just arm strength? Yes, that's the difference between a monster and a normal person. Your weight classes? Meaningless against raw power like this. Identity reversal. Do Won-hyo himself is watching from above. He disguised himself as the bald officer? That's next-level scheming. And the Do Won-hyo downstairs is just a fake, getting beaten to a pulp while screaming MDO1HYO. Majian Hai's drama is better than any TV show. The standoff between real and fake Do Won-hyo. The black-haired guy's question is lethal. Are you really Do Won-hyo? The bald guy, beaten into confusion, still insists, yes, I am. I'm Do Won-hyo. Dude, look at the guy upstairs. That aura, that gaze. Are you even the same species? Humiliation. Absolute exposure. Park Myung-jun's one punch sends the imposter flying. Why are you so weak? Excellent question. Because you're a fake. Would the real Do Won-hyo be this pathetic? The match is decided. If you really Do Won-hyo, then I'm the winner. The skill gap couldn't be clearer. Critical blunder. The bald officer realizes he didn't bring his weapon. Cold sweat drenches him. Damn it. It's not that I won't use it. I can't. You forgot your weapon? Are you on vacation, dude? Now Song Jung-suk demands Majian Hai withdraws from the alliance. And your Moktak is just sitting upstairs as decoration. This is a major mess. Enter. Do Won-hyo himself makes his move. From the window, he launches his signature weapon, the Moktak. The image is surreal. A wooden fish and a stick soaring toward the battlefield. Someone on the roof screams, Student Won-hyo. I've seen this scenario. The protagonist gets their legendary weapon at the last second for a comeback. Aerial resupply. Precision drop. Do Won-hyo drops into a low stance, gathers power, then leaps up with explosive force, his hands perfectly catching both Moktak and Striker. What an entrance! Everyone's eyes shift instantly. Majian Hai's true leader is finally entering the fray seriously. Villain aura at maximum. Do Won-hyo holds the Moktak, his eyes like hell's judge. Namo Amida Butsu, tuk 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 tuk. Kanabo Satsu. A gang heir using a Buddhist prayer tool as a weapon. The title bad guy truly fits him now. This overwhelming presence. Kong Ji-woong has finally found his match. A conversation dripping with threat. Do Won-hyo says he wanted to get along with you in a tone so cold it gives chills. Grandfather's advice? He has family backing, just as suspected. Park Myung-jun cuts straight to the core. You can't even do basic footwork. Are you really the leader, Do Won-hyo? Questioning both identity and skill. Do Won-hyo is thoroughly provoked. Such arrogance. His Moktak swings with force that shakes the air itself. Park Myung-jun takes a hit, his arm going numb. Ugh. Why is it so hard? This Moktak is no ordinary wood. Now, enchanted weapon versus beastly brawler. The battle enters phase 2. Moktak critical hit. Do Won-hyo sends Park Myung-jun flying with one brutal smash. There is humanity beyond humans. Heavens beyond the sky. He's right. Majian Hai's leader has earned his arrogance. Park tumbles through the air, but his eyes grow fiercer upon landing. The more these types get beaten, the more vicious their counterattack. Kong Ji-woong makes his appearance. He snatched Do Won-hyo's Moktak. That's a high-risk, high-reward move. Do Won-hyo reveals his trump card. The Moktak handle is actually a concealed telescopic baton. Did you think stealing my Moktak would save you? Reversal. Nothing but reversals. This weapon design is downright cruel. Weapon upgrade. After the telescopic baton, now a 3-section staff? Do Won-hyo. Your arsenal is ridiculous. How many tricks are hidden in one Moktak? Park Myung-jun is getting overwhelmed, swearing internally. Damn it. I'll be finished if this keeps up. What kind of monstrous combat training did Do Won-hyo's grandfather give him? The boy who wore the mask of a good guy for 10 years to protect her, for the first time, slammed the door shut on his past. He didn't look back, even though behind him was Seoljin, the girl he loved throughout his youth, kneeling, crying, begging with everything she had. Every word tore at his heart, but he only clenched his fists harder, nails digging into his palms, forcing the tears and his last shred of weakness back down his throat. At the end of the road, a sharper girl, Lee Seol-hee, was waiting, the one he was meant to walk alongside now. Meanwhile, back at the police station, the mad dog Shin Kyung-chul was still trying to squirm free, playing the victim. He thought he could talk his way out? Too late. Officer Kim's expression turned to stone. None of them were getting away. The cage of the law had just clicked shut. A story of pure love was over. The path of blood and fire had just begun. Fast forward. A lavish mansion. Gone are the schoolyard brawls and teenage heartbreak. Now, the mighty Yong Jae-wook, a core member of the Brown Bear Gang, is lovingly feeding a pet bear cub named Ilbium. The atmosphere is almost disturbingly domestic. Cut to a flashback. The moment the gangster father, Kong Han-guk, first learned his weak son had become the big man on campus. The boy came home bruised and bloody, the father demanding answers. I became the boss, the son admitted, bracing for derision. But no, the father's face lit up, not in anger, but in pure, unadulterated pride. His son wasn't a fool. He was a king. The future was in ruthless hands. But a boss doesn't get to rest. The screen flashes to intelligence work. Root Ho, another loyal soldier, slaps a social media screenshot on the table. It's a group photo. 3 familiar thugs we've met before, all grinning and raising glasses. The caption? Celebrating the graduation of their big brother, Un Chanwoo. A new name, a new target. The spotlight shifts, and the machinery of the underworld grinds on. For every enemy you crush, another one graduates. Cut back to the present. The most brutal battle yet is raging. Kang Ji-woong versus Do Won-hyo has reached a fever pitch. Desperate for victory, Do Won-hyo has crossed a line. He set the end of his staff on fire. He's wielding it now like a flaming weapon of war. This is no longer a schoolyard scuffle. This is a fight for survival. And that desperate, flaming tactic hasn't gone unnoticed. It's ignited a fury in a pair of eyes watching from the shadows, trying to rush in and interrupt his power-up sequence. Think again. The moment Kang Ji-woong tries to charge, a blinding pillar of light descends from the sky, enveloping the chanting Do Won-hyo in a protective halo. This isn't Buddha Dharma. This is pure, unadulterated cheating. Ji-woong stumbles back, shielding his eyes, his mind reeling. A school fight? This looks more like a divine ascension. The source of that divine light isn't heaven. It's teacher Park Dal-min, the bald tutor, hiding outside, desperately pressing a flaming ritual disc against a window. He's chanting, pouring every ounce of his power into it, basically juicing his master up with a cheater steroid boost. Master Won-hyo, I can only help this much. He's sweating, straining, looking like he might keel over. Loyalty? Don't be naive. This is a high-stakes bet. If his young master wins, his own position as a lieutenant in the Damryong gang is cemented. The cheat code is loaded. Eyes snap open, and his first words shatter all common sense. Do Won-hyo calmly sets his wooden fish on fire. Then, with all the sanctity of a holy man, he declares, "This is my dharma of fire." Fire. Dharma. Kang Ji-woong is stunned, his internal monologue screaming. He's setting the wooden fish on fire? What kind of insane tactic is this? Wasn't he practicing Buddhism? Why is he playing with fire now? This isn't just dirty fighting. It's conceptual, art house level shamelessness. The tables turn instantly. Do Won-hyo, laughing maniacally, swings the flaming wooden fish. Bam, bam, bam. The sound of burning wood cracking against flesh. He's being pummeled by a 1-2 punch of searing heat and blunt force. His own wooden fish is splintered. He's on the back foot. A normal wooden fish was hard enough. Now he has to worry about third-degree burns. It's a losing game. His opponent has gone full berserker. The searing pain from the fire, the heavy blows from the staff. He's barely catching his breath. Huff, huff. His enemy's taunts echo in his ears. Kang Ji-woong, where's that arrogance now? You won't come to me? Then I'm coming for you. It's a desperate pinch. Then, for the sidelines, his ally, Kim Yong-jeon, who's had enough, roars, "Hey, Kang Yi-volk. If you can't handle it, just say it. We'll jump in together." What's his move? Accept? Or does pride demand he go it alone? The answer is a resounding no. He throws up a hand, stopping his teammate in his tracks. The fire in his eyes burns hotter than the one on that damned wooden fish. "Don't you guys dare interfere," he grinds out, each word like a drop of molten iron. "I will beat him." Kang Ji-woong has made his choice. He will prove himself, prove the path he's chosen, in a fair, brutal, one-on-one fight. On the other side, Do Won-hyo looks at that stubborn, unyielding face and grins a sickening smile. "Ah, you're a riot. Get ready." Underestimating Majin High has consequences. This life-or-death duel has already escalated. It's no longer just between two students. It's the bloody prelude to a war between two underworld families. In the shadows of a distant wall, a pair of bloodshot eyes are locked on the fight. It's Q-Shik, Kang Ji-woong's hot-tempered bald bodyguard. He's fuming with a rage that could level the school. That sneaky bastard, playing for real, dares to use a flaming weapon? He was here in disguise, thinking it was a routine power play. Not anymore. He grinds his teeth, knuckles popping. That last thread of restraint snaps. The moment I see young master lose, I kill him. I kill Do Won-hyo. A schoolyard fight has finally attracted the true, deadly, and unforgiving gaze of the real underworld. Watch out. A predator is ready to pounce.